Welcome to my Flosstube channel. Hobbies of Holly is the name of my channel, and my name is Holly, and I am so glad you're here today. If you are returning, you're wonderful, and I'm so grateful for you. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you'll stick around. I hope that you will interact with us and tell us about yourself and subscribe and like and comment and all those things. Hello. Happy spring. It's May 12th, I believe, and this is Flosstube 22. I never remember those things, but I did today. Happy belated Mother's Day to those of you who are moms or mom-like figures to people in your life. And I know it can be a hard day for many. So sometimes a hard day, we're just like, whew, we got through it. And for those who enjoyed the day, I'm glad for you. I had a good day with two of my girls, my bookends, my oldest and my youngest, who live nearby, spent the day with me, so it was good. It's been a busy few weeks. I've been delaying coming to you because I've been trying really hard to get a couple of finishes. Do you know what one finish is that I can show you? Actually, it's my only finish, but guess what I did? Notice anything new? My sweater. It's finished, it's blocked, and I'm wearing it. Did I have to go to my local yarn shop where the class was, where I learned it, and have some help with some things? I sure did. That was so great to have them there. This is the, I'm gonna show you because I always forget what it's called. This is the Autumn League pullover by 2 of Wands. So this is what it looks like, the chart, and here's mine. I'm really pleased with it. I feel like I made this. I learned a lot. So much, in fact, that I'm going to restart my other sweater, the no frills sweater. I'll show you that in a minute when we get to knitting, but I digress. We'll come back to that part. What have you guys been working on? I've been working on a little bit of everything. So we're gonna have a eclectic time together today. I have one new start, which I think I said last time, I have no business starting anything, yet I did. My friend Stitching with Jem, who we call each other Flosstube twins or Flosstube sisters because we started our Flosstubes maybe the exact same day. And I got to meet her in January at the attic and hug her neck, so that was fun. Anyway, she is doing May. Market Mania. That's what it is. Took me a minute. Where you start something you bought at market. And you can do it like, every day if you want, or every 5 days, whatever. I started one thing because I am trying to work through my whips right now. So I started the one thing I've been wanting to start, which is a French Rose Marie. I need to ask Sylvia, valet or valet, by Running with Needles and Scissors. Because I've told you how much I love this. I love her finish that she just sewed some lace on it. And I have the chart, the second chart that is all of the smalls. This is what it looks like. I'm a pink and purple girl, so I loved this. And I had decided, since I couldn't find Gloriana Flamingo, which P.S., my friend Heidi from Whips and Kits, who someday I'm gonna meet and stitch with in person, but she got hers from Country Sampler in Wisconsin. So if you're still looking for Gloriana Flamingo, call Country Sampler. But last time I had shown you a bunch of options that I had come up with to stitch with it since I hadn't found Flamingo. And I am stitching it with Roxy Floss Co. Croquet. Can you see that? Look how pretty the variegation is. And I've only spent a couple days on it. Isn't it pretty? I love it a lot, a lot, a lot. I am stitching it on a blanket size piece of Legacy Fiber Arts 36 count covered bridge. I had this in my stash. It's a fat half that I haven't cut down. Measure twice, cut once. I get scared, so I just stitch on a big piece until I'm far enough along. But isn't covered bridge pretty? And I know I've told you this all the time, but Sue is dying again, and you can get her linens from Rachel at Treehouse Fiber Arts. I believe Rachel has some, I haven't looked lately, but I think she has some 40 count and 46 count in her shop right now. I haven't heard Sue and Rachel say when Sue's going to be working on more, but I'm so glad Sue's dyeing again. So that's my start. And I'm keeping it in my Patchwork and Poppies Liberty bag. Isn't this beautiful? She makes really gorgeous bags. And this was from her Advent or her holiday box that I got from her last year that was all things Liberty of London. So that is what I started, and I love it. Oh, the thing I was holding out hope that I might finish. Oh, it's fallen on the floor, so excuse me. I'm so close to a finish on From Velvet to Linen by Kathy Barrick. You know how I love Kathy Barrick. This is what the chart looks like. This is the original velvet piece that she has in her collection, and she made it a cross stitch chart. And you can see the differences. You see these two big flowers right here and how she converted them to cross stitch. But this was my most valued, my most wanted chart from Market. And so I started it right away, and I'm so close to a finish. But look at her. Are you looking? All I have left is this part down here. And I did this last night, so I don't think it'll take me too long to finish. I'm super excited. Look. I'm using the NPIs, and I will show you this. I ordered my NPIs from Hillside Rookery, Olivia B. And often she will have sets that are just what you need for the piece. I don't know how she does that, but she does. And she does not for this, but I bought all the NPIs from her. They were on sale. I don't know if they still are, maybe 20% off. But this is how much I have left over. So it didn't take much to stitch that whole thing. And it's very dense stitching. I started it right after Market, so let's say mid-March, and it's kind of been my focus piece. I'm gonna show it to you again. It's part of my Wonderfully Weird series that I'm stitching for my great room wall upstairs. So next time, God willing, I will have a finish on that. I've also put some time, oh, I just threw my board down. That's okay. I also put some time into Jessie Challenor. She's nice and wrinkled. Here's what she looks like. She's an exclusive from the Attic. I chose the muted colors, which is what you see on the antique now. This is what they saw on the back when they unframed it. I am using the 103s that I also purchased from the Attic when I went in January. I started this in January. Excuse the wrinkles. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep going off camera, but life with Holly, you know. I think I told you last time how excited I was to get to the bird. I got to the bird. Yeah, let me hold her back a little bit. This makes me so happy as well. Don't I have eclectic taste? I know that's my word today. I love that vibrant velvet to linen, but I also love a nice muted chart. Look at that bird. This was what sucked me in when I saw the model at the Attic. I love this style. I can't remember, does it have a name? So my only problem was with things that have a repeat, now I have to do it all again on this side. So I'll have to get the motivation, but I'll go ahead and finish down here and work my way over. This is on one of the linens they had at the Attic for it. I've been saying it's 40 count. It's not. I found my little tag. It's 36 count, which is probably why it's so enjoyable to stitch on. Lakeside Sand Dunes. I don't think it's vintage sand dunes, but the Attic will know. Have you been watching Caroline's from the Attic Flosstubes? She's been working with designers that are like the local designers, and I've enjoyed them so much. One of them, 2 episodes ago, I had to stop the video, call the Attic. Thankfully, it was a Saturday because they are a couple hours away time, and I'm in Eastern Standard Time. If I didn't say, I live in Dayton, Ohio. and order some things. I don't have them yet. I need to maybe call and follow up on those because usually I get a tracking information, but I ordered all of the Not Forgotten Farms kits that they talked about because I've stitched one and I loved it so much that I needed them all because they were all so pretty. Oh, these are the 103 flosses for Jessie. One thing I'm excited about is when I finish, then I can add all of these to my stash in my drawer system I showed you last time. This is the color that I substituted for the large flowers in the center because they were stitched, they're charted in orange, and I'm more of a pink girl than an orange girl. And it would probably have been smarter for me to choose something already in the chart, but I just grabbed a pink I like, and I think it works. So those are the flosses, and this is housed in one of my berry bags. Thinking about you, Berry, as you walk this journey with your mama. But oh, Berry makes a beautiful bag. I always love all the fabrics she chooses for her bags. And then lastly, I put some time into another project I started in January when I was at the attic. This is one of last year's market releases by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I wanted it, I hadn't bought it. And then I bought it when Jean talked about it on one of their floss tubes. And then when I saw the model at the attic that Jean had stitched, I got their conversion and started it. I love this. Maybe that can go on my wonderfully weird. It's not weird, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I threw my board down again, but here's where I am on it. I'm doing this on 56 count in honor of Jean from the attic. And I'm using the Swasservine. I don't even know if you can see how tiny those stitches are. So I think I filled in here and did a lot of this since I last showed it. Oh, okay, maybe I should serge my fabric. That's messy. Isn't that pretty? Again, it's Shakespeare's Peddler, pretty in pink. And I got the attic's color conversion for Swasservine and silks. There are my whips I have touched since we last spoke a couple weeks ago. Let's see, let me clear this off a little bit. I am such a lucky girl, and I live, like I said, in Dayton, Ohio, which is close to Cincinnati. We're about probably 45 minutes from Cincinnati. So that means I'm close to Keepsakes, and I'm close to the Queen City Sampler Guild, although I'm a member, but I've never been to any event in person. I've done some of their online things. But this coming weekend, there's going to be stitching at the mill at Shelley's house. At the mill, I get to go to the mill. Ever since she showed it the first time, I've wanted to go see it in person. So I'm pretty excited about that. She's graciously hosting, I think it's 25 people that she could see comfortably. And it's just a stitching day. Now, I'll insert some family news here. So my daughter Julia was supposed to have ankle replacement this past Wednesday. And this is her second ankle replacement. The first time, the company who makes the part shipped it and UPS lost the part. Lost an ankle replacement in UPS. So they had to totally remake it, and her surgery was delayed 6 weeks. That was upsetting because she had like childcare lined up with, nursing for Graham, and had taken off work for 6 weeks, etc. So she was supposed to have her other ankle done this past Wednesday, and she got a call a few days before. But you know what? A couple days before that, she said, I just have a feeling this isn't going to happen. And she got a call that they had not received her replacement part. It is not lost, but they hadn't received it yet. So they pushed it off until this week. So on Thursday this week, Julia will be having ankle replacement. So if you would pray for her. It's not easy to be non-weight bearing as a mom of young kids. And she is the mom of a disabled preschooler and a very active typical toddler. And she's the one that we are now backyard neighbors with. So our days are going to be very full with caring for Ruby and for Julia, since she can't walk while her husband is at work. Michael is a wonderful man who takes great care of his family, but he does have a full-time job. So, and then there's nursing for Graham. But like this past week, the nurse had to call off 2 days with one of our own children's situations. So we've cleared the calendar basically for summer. In fact, I had said I got into summer school, but I just sent them an email. I think I need to clear the entire summer to help Julia with her kids, but also I just want to spend time with my other grandkids this summer. We had a whirlwind weekend last weekend. We went and stayed with our grandkids in Cleveland. My daughter and her husband were able to get away to a conference for a few days in DC. So we went and stayed with those 4 grandbabies. Oh, it was so fun. Little Stella just turned 2 this past week, and she is I just love her. I love toddlers so much. So Leo, Penny, Rory, and Stella, we kept them for 3 nights, 2 nights, I forget, and had a great time. And we were so glad we were able to do that. And then we came back to Dayton, and our oldest granddaughter, who's a bonus granddaughter, graduated from Wright State. And so we celebrated with them. And then the next day we drove to Indianapolis because I call her our first granddaughter, because even though she's not the oldest, but she was our first granddaughter. She was having her very first dance recital. Ellie is 11. And so we got to spend the day with Milo, Ellie, and Lila. And we went to church with them. My away son-in-laws are pastors, and so we got to go to church with them, and that was really nice. So we were road warrior grandparents, and we got to see 4 daughters, 4 son-in-laws, and 10 out of 12 grandkids last weekend in a 48-hour period of time, and it was pretty great. What was I talking about? Oh, stitching at the mill. So Julia's surgery is on Thursday. Stitching at the mill is on Saturday. And so I had messaged Kim Storer, who is part of Queen City Sampler Guild, and said, I hope I'm going to be able to come. Like, if everything goes well, it's a weekend, so my son-in-law will be available to help. So I'm a little bit in limbo, but that's my hope. All that to say, do you want to see what I'm going to take with me to start when I'm stitching at the mill? I hope so, because I'm going to show you. I ordered Hands Across the Sea, Queen of the May. I'm sorry about the glare. I sit in front of windows in my basement when I talk. But this is Elizabeth Stevenson, Queen of the May for 2025. She is a beauty, and I've seen people started at May 1st, and the colors are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So guess what I did? So I ordered the chart directly from Nicola because she has a Facebook group called Friends of Hands Across the Sea, and she hasn't said otherwise, so I think this opportunity is still available. If you order the the actual chart, not the PDF, she sends you 2 fabric panels as a bonus if you're a member of this Facebook group, Friends of Hands Across the Sea. So please go join that. But this is the smaller one. And then I made myself a project bag for it, which I haven't made a project bag in a long time. There are things I would do differently, but I like it. It's too tall and skinny, not wide enough, but it's okay. It'll work just great. So I made myself this project bag out of the larger panel. Let me hold them together so you can see the size difference. So smaller, larger. I used some Blackbird fabric that I had, some French General fabric, and I really like it. I think this is some French General I used on the inside. Did your kids watch The Donut Man or listen to his songs when they were little? We loved The Donut Man, and my grandkids still enjoy The Donut Man because I sing those songs to him. But he has one song about following the directions, and it says Amy McMaster thought it would be faster to make herself a dress, but she said it won't be matterin' if I don't use a pattern. Anyway, I kept thinking of Amy McMaster. I should have followed a pattern to have it be the right size, but it still works. In fact, here's the chart. So you can see it'll all still fit. It's just not your typical size, but it's mine. I made it and I love it. I happen to have the called for linen in stock, in my stock, which I keep right back there in that cabinet, which is Tabby Cat, just the ticket that I had purchased at the attic. I have a big old piece of it, and I think it takes a big old piece of it, but it's really pretty. It's lighter than it's looking on this. And I did not order the Legend of Floss. I decided to pull from stash. I have a huge stash, and sometimes it's just easier to order the floss, but I decided, nope, I am going to pull from stash. So I went from the DMC list, and I have that DMC chart, and I went to my Cosmo because I have a full set of Cosmo, and I don't use it often enough. And this is what I pulled. And remember I was saying how beautiful those colors are? Oh, look at them. I did not find 2 of the colors, so I pulled some color and cotton for those 2 colors. But I'm pretty excited to start that. And I hope to start it at Shelley's mill. I watched Tiger Lily this week. I've watched a lot of Flosstube this week, and mine isn't as pretty as hers. My writing is messy, I messed up, but she suggested, this was brilliant, to make a copy of the legend, so of the symbols. So I made a copy of that, and I cut it out, and then I wrote my conversion on it. See, I'm messy, and I tried to write that, but I wrote it over the packing tape. But she just writes it on a card and then puts packing tape over it, which is so smart. So I'm probably gonna punch a hole in this and put it on my floss ring. And I told you this early on, but my favorite floss rings are these shower curtain holders. They're my favorite. Okay, so that is my Queen of the May. I hope to start next weekend. Now, my friend Kia B, is also going to Shelley's, and she gifted me this a year ago or so. And she told me, when you're ready to start it, we'll start it together. And I'm ready now. So this is from Evertote. I don't want to lose this. This is from Evertote. And I can't remember what Caroline and Carrie said, but basically Caroline was making Carrie stitch one of these with her. What was her catchphrase she used? I don't remember. But we're going to start one of these. We get to choose which one we're going to start. I don't know. I'm drawn to this one, Kia. We can start the same ones or different. We can make our own rules. This is Catherine Rees by 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers. And it is beautiful. Again, the glare. Pretty, huh? And she bought a kit, so these are the Roxy Floss Co. colors that go with it. So pretty. And it came with the Dirty Porcelain linen from Roxy Floss Co. in 46 count because Kia likes to stitch on high counts. And sweet Kia gifted me this bag because she knows I love French General. So it's been housed in here. So we talked about it, and I said we should start one or both of these, and she said yes, please. So that's our hope. Okay, I'm gonna show you some other things. Okay, I have some sewing things I want to talk about, and I need input. Excuse me while I reach. I've talked about my oldest daughter, Alyssa, is an Instagram influencer. She is Pop of Color on Instagram, and she also has a second channel called What Alyssa is Wearing, I think, or What Alyssa Wears. And she talked about these denim jackets from Walmart. I believe they're $22. So you can't beat that price. I got it in 2 colors. I've talked about my love of Facebook Marketplace and Buy Nothing groups. And somebody had these framed in a Buy Nothing group a month or so ago. They're embroidered flowers, and it's vintage. I'm so sorry for the sneeze. I was gonna, yeah, so sorry. This one and this one, and I loved them. So I took them out of the frames, and I would really, really like to put it on the back of a jean jacket. I messaged my friend Tanya, who is the person who taught me to quilt. about 15 years ago. I'm still so grateful for Tanya. She's the best teacher, and she does things right. Like, she's one of those people that doesn't cut corners, does things right. So we talked about how to do it. I'm just scared. Oh, I can't think of Kathy's last name, but she's a good friend of Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea. And I ran into her at Market in March, and she had this jacket. Oh, she sent me a picture of it when I asked for it this weekend, that she had done one of Nicola's panels and then these teeny tiny hexies that she quilted around it. And so I am so inspired to make myself this, but I'm so scared to cut. I figure, okay, $22 I can risk messing up. Free on a buy nothing group, and I have 2, I can risk it. Do y'all have any tips? I think I'm gonna do the Lori Holt method and sew it onto the back of just like a piece of muslin or fabric that I have and try that. But I had thought about, I think that will look better on the jean jacket. But then, wouldn't this be fun to put on here? I know the greens aren't the same, but I have a stash of Nicola's printed fabrics of her antique samplers. And could I somehow like make this jacket just have various sampler panels on it? Sometimes I'm not creative. I'm very paint by number. Like, tell me what to do, give me a pattern, I can do it. But creating it makes me scared, and then it just lays in a pile. Okay, another thing I want to show you. So I did not get to go to the library stitch retreat in Maine a few weeks ago because Graham was in the hospital. But my friends met someone, is her name Virginia? I know they call her the wrong name. I'm sorry. I did meet her real quick on FaceTime, who was wearing these adorable jeans from Old Navy. So I ordered a pair because, can you see that they have little flowers cross-stitched on little roses? How perfect. So I got them in. They didn't have them in petite. I am 5'1" and some change. So I'm going to have to cut these off. Now, I kind of like the rough cut, just cut it off and let it fray look, but these are too wide, I think, for that look. So I'm going to attempt, and I never have before, to do the thing where you save the original hem. It doesn't look hard, but again, that's part of my sewing projects. Anybody live near me that just wants to do these things for me and I'll pay you? Okay, then one more Facebook find I got over the weekend. I've wanted a quilted jacket for a long time. Do I have cutter quilts? I do. Am I scared to cut them? I am. So this is made by a local lady, a Dayton lady, but I bought it from someone who had purchased it, and she loves them so much she has multiples of them, and she decided she needed to let a couple go. And so I met up with her because she lives a little bit farther from me, but look at that. Here, look at the back. And I think when you buy these or make these, the quilt itself can make all the difference, and I really liked the clean lines of this one. So I bought that. Can we talk about knitting a little bit now? Hold on one second. Let me reorganize. I'll be right back. You won't even miss me. I'm back. See, you didn't even miss me. So because I was knitting this, I paused all my other projects. Once I finished this, I was very excited to get back to some of them. One is my crunkled sock. This is a pattern by Kay Jones. My friend Sue likes to make it a lot, and that is where you can find the umbrella toe. Don't look at mine because I got a little messed up on it, but this is the umbrella toe, which is my very favorite toe. But look at these crunkles. And I've only done vanilla socks before this, and it wasn't hard. Now, I'm gonna show you my mistake because we all have them, right? And I didn't correct it because I couldn't. But I missed a section here that I got off, and I don't care because these socks are for me. This yarn is Legacy Fiber Arts, and it is one of the Schitt's Creek for this year. It is fabulous. In fact, when one of my daughters saw it yesterday, she said, I want these socks. She has bigger feet than I do, so I can't give her this one. Shoot. And she said, I want this exact sock. Look at those colors. And I said, well, this was a limited edition color, but I have so much yarn you can look for. But can you see, I think this is called Stellini, but it has gold flecks in it. So I finished that and I cast on the second one. And then I'm making my husband a pair of socks. If you've followed my knitting, I made him a pair of socks, but I made them too big. So I'm trying again. It's not my favorite project. I think selfishly, I get more excited about my socks. But again, I'm using some LFA yarn, vanilla sock pattern by Crazy Sock Lady. Also, Earth Tone Girls has perfect sock patterns for beginners. So those are my socks. I told you about this. Did you see my sweater I made? Now, I am making, here's the cover. I started Petite Knit No Frills Sweater because everybody was in Sue's group she has Knit 24 Periscope that Sue does a live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's so fun. I don't ever miss it. I have an alarm set in my phone and I call it Sue O'Clock. But she made this and her daughter Chelsea made this. And I think Rachel is making this as well. And some other knitty friends. So I purchased Sue's Cozy Toes yarn. I can't remember what this is called. Lavender something. Don't worry. Lavender Fields. And it is fabulous. And I told you I'm a purple girl. And then you hold it together with mohair. And this is her vanilla bean mohair. And so together, it looks like this. And I love it and it's beautiful. But as I made this, I learned that I haven't really been doing my increases correctly on the raglan part. And because this one is more of an investment in the yarn, by the way, this I think is Aurora cotton yarn that I used. I want this one to be just right. So I'm gonna restart this one. And I am not a person who restarts things, but I'm gonna restart that one. And I understand that mohair is hard to kind of pull apart and reuse. So I think I'm just gonna cut it, start all over, and then I'll figure out what to do with that. And I might even put it into that scarf that I was making that here. Now, speaking of knitting things, look at this bag I just bought. She is my new friend. She's also on Sue's Lives. A finch's nest. She is on Instagram, but her shop is on Etsy. There's her information if you would like to shop. She makes really nice bags. This is a waxed canvas on the bottom. This is a Tilda fabric. I like it. So that's a new bag I'm going to use. I get a lot of compliments on the bags I've been carrying around for my knitting. And this is Deborah Harry bag. She's on Facebook. And she usually has a Sunday sale in her Etsy, but she'll post on Facebook what's going to be in the sale. You have to be quick to get them, real quick. She's had a couple of Hobby vintage, she uses vintage linens, pieces, etc. She's had 2 Holly Hobby bags that I've wanted so badly, and I have had my alarm set, go right to it, and somebody beats me to them. One day, I'm going to get one of her Holly Hobby bags. I am. Okay, now I'm going to show you things that have been coming in the mail or PDFs that I've purchased since we last talked. But I don't think I talked about this. For Valentine's Day, I got this sweet card, and I love mail so much. This is from Carla, and she has sent me a couple of cards. Isn't that sweet? And then I got more ICU quilts. This is from Chris, and this is the card she sent with it. Oh, and I like it. It says it's from Cure Autism Now. Isn't that sweet? So Chris sent me a batch of ICU quilts that were perfect. I've already taken them to Julia's house for us to take to the hospital when Graham has his heart cath soon. But I talked about it last time, so if you have any interest, you can go back to the last time. But we are always accepting quilts. They're actually probably more blankets, but the hospital calls them quilts, for the ICUs of Cincinnati Children's, where they use them almost in place of Chuck's pads that they put under babies. Sometimes they put them over babies, but it's basically just 2 pieces of good quality flannel or quilting fabric put together. Easy peasy to do. But thank you so much to those of you who have been sending me those. Okay, things that have come in the mail recently. You've probably heard people talk about 5 Times Blessed, and I shopped in person when I was at the attic. And I just decided to do some shopping a month or so ago, and I got some retreat prizes. And you know, I haven't even been to retreats and don't have any planned for a little while, but these are things I got for myself. I thought this was so cute to either use as a scissor fob or a floss drop hanger or a zipper pull. Oh, and I didn't show you that I had all the zipper pulls. I got that kit from Minnie McBean's that I'm gonna put on my Queen of the May bag. Look how cute. This is Minnie McBean's. This is her card. She's a friend of Nicola. That is her information. I don't know if she has any more of these, but when she has stuff in her shop, it's so, I feel so fancy when I use it. Okay, back to 5 times blessed. Look at this. I got this necklace from her. I thought that was really fun on a long chain. Look at this bracelet. It's like a charm bracelet. So she has things that aren't just stitchy related. There's a, oh, I already showed you that. So those are things from 5 times blessed. Then Brenda and Laura, Brenda and the Cereal Starter, get me in trouble all the time. Many of the things I find, it's because they told me to. But Brenda had shown this a couple episodes ago. Lindsay Craft Life on Etsy. Here's her info. She has these vintage French labels that are stitched with initials. And I've told you before about like finding holly on things when I was young. And so anything that's personalized, I just love. I do not know what I'm going to do with these, but they would be so cute on project bags, sewn into projects, etc. And she has all kinds of initials, but she had mine, HN. Also, she has other things in her shop. I don't know why I bought this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Please tell me if you have ideas. But these are Braille. I can't remember if she said they were letters or from books. And it's like a whole booklet of them. And because I'm just so fascinated and encouraged by the disability community, and although Graham has visual impairment, he won't need Braille from his, but I don't know. I just thought that was cool to have. Somebody tell me what I'm going to do with it, because I don't know. Then I was watching, well, another Tiger Lily thing. She talked about this on her last video. Someone she was watching, she couldn't remember me, who was using this to hold up their chart. And I have those Amazon fold-out tray things, but they can be a little bit bulky. So Carrie showed this. And I thought, I don't know how that's going to hold a flimsy piece of paper, but I'll try it. And it's curved. So look what it does. You just put your chart, your papers in it, and it holds it up. I love that. So that's going to go in my stitching tray. So watch Carrie for the information on that. But whilst Iris Naps had a Flosstube and has a new design out, while I was on there, she has a couple of freebies. So I got this one and I downloaded another one. Sorry. This one. Those are free on her website. But what I purchased was her newest, which is Helen Monroe. Got the PDF. Look. I don't know what I love the most about this. It might be the house. It's probably the house. But then look at that. And she has a separate pattern that is a drum made from the house. So these bands, you could make drums out of things. Those flowers are really pretty. You know how much I needed another chart. I did not, but I had to add that to my collection. So I purchased that. Sorry, I'm going to dig down deep into my stuff. I had my first crafty visitor dropped by my house, and she brought me prizes. I'm going to show you what she brought me. She's so thoughtful. She brought me this chart. She brought me some wool, which I do not have a good stash of wool. She brought me a little thread bed. She brought me some lady dot trim. How sweet is she? Oh, and look at that. Okay, my next Schitt's Creek, A Year in Schitt's Creek by Legacy Fiber Arts. The next one came. I gasped. I'm a gasper. Are you a gasper? My grandmother was a gasper, like when something bad was going to happen, she'd go, oh, Lordy. And so when I gasp about things, my husband calls me Granny Hazel, because that was my granny that gasped. But when I love something, I go, oh. but I gasped because look at those colors. So this is Don't Worry, It's His Sister. If you watched Schitt's Creek, then you will get that. I thought that was beautiful from Sue. And then I ordered this as a gift for a friend that I'm gonna give soon. And then I also stocked up on some basics, which is her vanilla bean in DK and more mohair for my sweater. I haven't knitted a blanket yet, and I wanna do that with some of my minis. So that came. And then this is real crinkly. Sorry for those who are anti-crinkle. I signed up because I'm not planning to do a lot of in-person things this summer, and really even this year. I just have a couple more that I'm signed up for or that I would like to do. I'm hoping to do a lot of virtual things. I haven't signed up for Friend Stitch yet, but I might if there's still room. You know, Friend Stitch signups happened, which will happen in September. That's always a really good virtual event if you are someone who can't or doesn't prefer to go to in-person retreats. There are so many good online options. Queen City Sampler Guild has some great online guest speakers, that sort of thing. But French General speaks to me. I love everything that they do. So they're having an online series of 3 sessions. I can't even remember really what we're making. I think we're embroidering, which is not my strength. It's called Stitching from France, 3-part live chat. I can't pronounce that. And it's Zoom workshops, chats, and this is the Chats and Stitch kit. It arrived, and I just want you to see what came. So some of it came in this little bag. And I saw she just headed to France. There's some needles. There's some flosses. Look at this. Some pearl cotton. A little winder. Needle minder. Some hexie paper. I think there was something else I was supposed to order and forgot. A little pair of pink scissors. How on brand is that? And these threads. Then look at these just bits and bobs that came. Oh, I know. I think we're making a tote bag. So this tote bag, which is kind of like a linen tote bag, came. So I think we're going to be decorating that possibly. And then this just dropped other things on the floor. I've spent more time picking things up on the floor than looking at you. This, look how pretty together that is. This, oh, this is my jam. Love whatever you would call this style. A little notebook. And then these are probably offcuts from some of their pre-cuts, but look what we're going to be cutting up to use. I don't know if you can still sign up for it, but look on the French General website for more information. And again, it's called Stitching from France, and it's a 3-part live chat. I believe the first one is at the end of May, and it's May, so it's time. And this card came. I wonder if we're doing something like this or this. And these were with it. Okay. Oh, so last time I was giving away a project bag from my stash and then just putting some odds and ends to go with it. And the keyword was joy. And you all had such beautiful comments. You were so wonderful in the comment section, and I appreciate it so much. So I pulled a winner, and it's Anne Mousseau. That's ANNEMOUSSEAU 8757. So Anne, if you will reach out to me in my email, which is hobbiesofholly@AOL.com. Last time I said I would put stuff in the description box, and I don't think I ever did. So let's say I will, but let's say if I don't, that's my email, okay? Because I told you it's going to be a busy week. This time, when I moved, I'm just trying to figure out, again, what my aesthetic is. I stitched this a long time ago, but maybe 2021, because I remember what I was doing when I stitched it. And even though spring is here, I just never found a good place to put it. So I'm going to take it out of the frame. But if you're interested in having this, this is a hands-on design chart. I wonder if I still have the chart. I can look. I don't know if I do, that I could send along with it. It's stitched on black Aida. And I don't think I'm gonna display it a lot. So if you want it, I'm gonna pass along my stitching to you. Use the word spring. What you're doing this spring, what you love about spring, and that is going to be what I give away this time. So this time, again, please, because, well, I don't know, enter from anywhere. And if you are overseas or out of the country and it's hard to ship to you, then maybe I'll just buy a PDF of something and send to you instead. But please don't use the word giveaway, prize, win, that kind of thing in your comment. And please be over 18 so I can ask for your address. I think that's it. I don't think I have any more jabbering to do to you today. You know, I always think of one more thing, but I might not today because I'm off to a friend's mother's funeral visitation. And so I got to get for that. But thank you for joining me again. It means the world to me when you comment. I try to comment back, but sometimes I heart them. I read them all, but depending on how nutty life is here, sometimes I just heart them. But I love when you tell me things. Love it. I appreciate it when you subscribe and when you share with your friends. I just like it that you're here. Thanks for being my friend and for joining me today and spending time with me. Happy stitching. Go love people well today. Okay? Talk to you later. Goodbye.